Why do I think speechwriting is important? I think speechwriting, sorry, got stuck.
My name is Brian Jenner and we're here in Magdalen College, Oxford for the 14th conference of the European Speechwriter Network.
I think being a speechwriter is kind of a lonely occupation. We normally sort of work mostly on our own with the text, and it's fantastic to come here and you get to spend a little bit of time with other speechwriters and sort of share some of those experiences, and you go away kind of feeling refreshed.
I think it's a great collection of very professional craftsmen, people who know how to practice this trade, this art of speechwriting.
For me, it's 50% learning about my trade and 50% just the pleasure of seeing colleagues from all over the world and catching up.
I first met Brian Jenner when he contacted me because I'd written a book on speechwriting, and he came up with the idea of forming the UK Speechwriters Guild and asked me what I thought of it. And I thought, well, it's a brilliant idea. And this was in Salisbury, I think it was, in the open air. And the next thing I knew was he organised a conference in Bournemouth, and I spoke at the first conference, and I spoke at quite a few of the later ones. And each time he held a conference, there were more and more people present, because he has a brilliant talent for getting together really interesting people, and he's now gone European-wide with the Speechwriters Network, and the organisation goes from strength to strength.
The second one I've been to, I came from a few years ago, which I really enjoyed, and I'm really enjoying this one as well. What I love is just hearing from people who love to geek out about speeches and just have different viewpoints on it, and sort of different anecdotes and sort of that you can learn from, and sort of inspires you to actually try and be a bit more creative in your own speeches.
Speechwriting can be quite a lonely business, you know, and this is a chance for people to get together, share war stories, find out how other people have solved the problems that they have.
Well, it's a fantastic way to, gathering of the clans, meeting of minds, meeting of the sense of belonging, I think, the rich variety of people that come here from business, politics and other walks of life and share the love of language and words and communicating.
One of the biggest problems in Europe now is that there seems to be a big gap between what people feel and what politicians say, and our job as speechwriters is to close that gap. And if we do that, we can make sure that the speaker really connects with the audience and that they come across as unfiltered.
Speechwriting helps those in power, or those at least with the authority to stand up for a moment and speak to others, to articulate their ideas more clearly, to inspire, to create a sense of identification in an audience, both with the speaker and what they're saying. But more importantly than that, I think, a way of identifying with themselves. It's a way of helping to create communities of ideas and feelings.
It's not widely recognised as a legitimate profession. It's not like accountancy or law, but it needs an organisation. And Brian Jenner has succeeded in creating a European-wide organisation where you have speechwriters from every country in Europe, all of whom seem to speak perfect English, who come to these conferences. And I've only missed about 3 of them, and I intend to come again and again.
There's no real education for becoming a speechwriter, but I think these conferences are as close as you get to getting one.
It's great to see many old friends here, so friends that I've made since the last conference and have kept in touch with.
Yeah, I've made a lot of friends here and professional connections, and work has come indirectly through this, but really the reason I come year in and year out is to share the experience of being a speechwriter, because we're quite a small band of people, really. I think we don't meet other speechwriters very often, and this is a chance to share our experiences, think about our craft, and reflect on what really matters, I think, about being a speechwriter.
Words are apple pie, home run, whiskey, linoleum, trust, material, causation, toddler, poet, liberation, elephant, dragons, Bosco, Michel's mother, rectificative, silence, a fin, and listening.
I think you're putting words into a public forum, you're writing and supporting people who represent, democracy. I work in the Parliament, in the Scottish Parliament. It's really important that communication is clear and hopefully even eloquent, certainly articulate, and that the message is put across as clearly and concisely as possible. I think that's why speechwriting matters. Speechwriters are, friends and some of my favourite people. The talks are very stimulating, the conversations over coffee between hand. It's about making friendships. It's a therapeutic thing sometimes. Your frustrations, the highs and lows. It's just a great occasion. I keep on coming back because I love it.
I think one very interesting thing that I learned today is that if we fall into rigid ideas about how we do our speech writing, then we find ourselves missing out on really doing the very great work. We're in an age of social media and everything being in 140 characters, and so people sometimes ask whether speeches really have a purpose, but I think you don't get many such opportunities to put together your ideas in a clear package. So I think speechwriting is still important, and I think this event shows that it's still a lot of people who really care about doing a good job.